Jan the 12th of 2025, we took a dirty short on NQ, A plus setup. Let's go through it candle by candle in 3x speed. And I want to show all of you what price is doing and the information that it's giving us real time while looking at the overall structure of what price gave us before and making sure that we're accurately applying knowledge to the market on where it might go in the next couple of minutes. So let me jump right into the charts here and let's dive right into today's trade. All right, so from the get-go, what we have here, just structurally talking about price, is price since the afternoon, actually since the morning, it pushed up higher to what? To a specific level. And what is that level? It's that purple line that I have there on my charts. That is the high of the day of not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. So it grabbed liquidity, it pushed lower, displacing, creating that red first fair value gap. And yes, that is a fair value gap, even though there's no gap between those two wicks there. It's a type of fair value gap that ICT talks about. And then price creates a couple more candles supporting on that blue fair value gap. And eventually it does break to the downside. So number one, what is this confirming? Liquidity of, a tag on liquidity above daily highs. It breaks the first bullish fair value gap, the downside, after 6 or 7 attempts from a candle perspective. And then once it breaks lower, it displaces there. It creates fair value gap to the downside before it starts pulling back, which it's doing right now. What I want you to note before we start talking about the current price action and what price is doing right now is it did create the first presentation fair value gap after 130, which is that green bar that I have there. Monday afternoon, first presentation fair value gap, 112. This is a really good fair value gap. It's a very high probability fair value gap to trade off of. And right now, what I'm looking at is price respecting this area, this inversion fair value gap, which it broke to the downside, layered on top of today's first presentation fair value gap. And you can see we had a really nice rejection. I did take a short with my stop loss being above the mean threshold of the highest wick candle on the 1-minute chart. And you can see here, price instantly, it started aggressively pushing lower. Now, with the structure aside and with let's focus on what price is doing right now. It is pushing to another bullish fair value gap, which has been respected 2 to 3 times in the past. And what I'm looking for here is if price is truly bearish, we want to see this fair value gap act as an inversion. So price failing to break above it or to use it as support and instead to use it as resistance and to push price lower. So ultimately, what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at how these bodies and these wicks are acting around this fair value gap that price is in right now. And what I want to see is one of two things. I'm okay with wicks going to the upside, but I want to see the bodies closing either at mean threshold or below mean threshold. And you can see here, these last 2 candles, they are doing that. The wicks are pushing to the upside. They are pushing to what? To a bearish fair value gap. I don't have it drawn here, but again, they are tagging inefficiency within the move lower. It was fairly aggressive. And you can see here, there's actually, a fair value gap that wasn't even traded to above us. And the wicks are touching the most recent fair value gap that has formed to the downside on the 1-minute candle. And right now, from what I'm seeing in price, I am liking this. Candles are generally on the lower half of the fair value gap. And if price continues to consolidate like this, I would be expecting a push lower. Again, we never know what price is going to do. It can ultimately close above this entire level and just push to the relative equal highs, which clearly, if formed, assuming that there is more liquidity for it to pull from all-time highs. And by all-time highs, I just mean over the last three trading days. But you can see here, price is definitely struggling to have those bodies close there. And ultimately, from here, what I want to see is price to start printing black limousine candles, as ICT calls it, and to start pushing price lower. You can see there on the left-hand side, I have additional levels marked before those relative equal lows on that 1 minute. I have 2 blue or bullish fair value gaps, but when price is going to start delivering lower, I do want to see it start to use those as footholds and see no respect to them whatsoever. And that's going to further validate that my overall bias and my trade idea is correct here. So at this point, I do have my stop loss at break even. So ultimately, I win both ways. It's either I'm wrong on my trade and I don't lose money, or I make money. And you can see here right now, price is printing its first black limousine candle to the downside. You can see here it did, slightly pull back from hitting that blue fair value gap there, the closest one to those relative equal lows. Again, I am not concerned about this at all. This is where I move my stop loss a bit lower, just above that second fair value gap there to the downside. And I'm watching what price wants to do here. If price closes above that inversion fair value gap on the 1 minute, trade's invalidated. And you can see here, it creates a fair value gap. There's a breakaway gap there on the 1 minute, and price continues to deliver lower. Again, I'm right now fairly relaxed in the trade, and in the next couple of seconds, it is going to tap it, which it does it right there. And within this trade, I was in the negatives going into this, roughly minus 400. I took a losing trade in the morning, and again, was patient, was sitting on my hands. And again, I waited for an A+ opportunity in the afternoon. It did deliver it. I did make back all of my losses, and I kind of doubled that up and made that as profits closing off today's day. So all in all, hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you guys did, feel free to drop a sub and a like. I'd appreciate that. And without further ado, today was a tough trading day. It's a no news Monday, but looking forward to what this week has to offer and this year has to offer. So take care, guys. Stay safe and happy trading.